Welcome everyone to the Frostbite League. We are in week 4 and we are bringing you the first of this week's matches. I'm Yeson and I'm joined by Quill on the mic today. How are we doing?
Hello, doing fine. I'm actually quite excited for this match since these teams from the previous week, they've been undefeated and they've suffered losses from the past week. So they're still winning though. They're still in the top 3. So I'm really excited with the results that are about to come.
Absolutely. Both of these teams are 2-1 in the series so far, so they are level and ready to really establish themselves as a strong contender for the finals, which is going to be great. Speaking of our teams, why don't you kick us off and tell us a little bit about Manila?
Manila Blizzard. Yes, that team, very solid, composes of Tiger, Bread, Punny, Zalf, Draco, and Neru. All of them have been playing this game enough that they have a cohesive unit. Also, a fun fact, Bread and Tiger are actually teammates, so their synergy is much more in tune, and they'll be playing in this match. We have some insider info. They are in the actual lobby, so I'm gonna see some excellent gameplay right there.
Yeah. Absolutely correct. My apologies. Mars pointing it out in chat. Auckland is 2-2 currently. They've had the extra game that was streamed last week that a lot of our teams haven't had. So they've got a bit more on the line here. This is their last set for the series.
Yeah, I would assume that I would also want to go, positive in terms of my set wins.
100%. I'm very excited to see Manila. They've got an interesting tactic that I'll unveil as our games go on, but I got a cute little nickname for it. And I'm sure chat, if they've been keeping up with our previous matches, it's already very aware of what they like to do in games. We'll keep the surprise. Let's go on to Auckland Avalanche now. They are also on 2-1. They have dropped a set to Sydney 0-4, but it was all very close games, so definitely don't count them out on that 0-4. Talk us through our players.
I would like to point out that they have actually 2 players that have experience in the Plus servers. The Plus servers are the Western scene's top server in terms of competitive experience. It is Rainsfield and Toby. Toby, a Dynamo player, also a paintbrush player. We'll be maybe seeing that. I know that he's also been practicing his NZAP to really contribute to his team a bit more. Curb also a top player for OCE, a skirmisher player comprising of Tetras and Wiper, and then for the rest of the team, Crowboy, Jelly, and Oak. Jelly actually is a sub for the team. Thank you so much for doing that, Jelly, if you are watching the stream, because we had some technical difficulties in terms of the availability of players. Either way, they're still going to be very strong. It's not going to really hurt their synergy as much. The player that he did sub out for is also a shooter player anyway. So even with this setback from Auckland, they are still very much ready to put up a fight with Manila.
100%. I've done a bit of analysis on both of these teams as well. Now, I'd be curious to see, just at the top of this set, how are you vibing the score between these two teams?
I don't know.
I have a theory that Auckland have one weakness that I've noticed throughout their games. It's not a very easy to exploit weakness, but I think that Manila perfectly fill that weakness. So I'm suggesting at the start of this game that Manila might be the team that comes out on top here.
Yes, it's very important that they win the first match anyway, since it sets the first point win.
Absolutely.
It puts the enemy team already on the deficit, and it gives them pressure to really perform on the other matches. They do have the benefit of counterpicking, but it really sets the tone the first match.
Yeah, I mean, counterpicking, great thing to bring up. We have our first match of the day is going to be a Clam Blitz match, if I am keeping up with my notes correctly. It is, okay. Right, yep, no, because this is the other, yep, okay. So, it is week 4 for some of our other teams, but you very well pointed out to me that it is Splat Zones Umami we're starting off with. This is the week 5 map list that we're running with. So starting out on Splat Zones, our teams will be nice and comfortable. They'll be able to get their toes wet before they kick off and really get into the meat of this match.
It is a very intriguing mode as well, especially on this map. There's two zones that they have to contest, and there's a big block in the middle that really separates mid. You might think that this is a flowchart map where it is literally just a straight line or a Z map. It is, but when you're fighting for mid, it's going to be really awkward. That block in the middle and that pillow as well on top of it will make it very hard to control both zones at the same time, especially if it's being contested by both teams.
It really brings back Black Belly Skatepark vibes, where
actually,
you've got those two zones that are just so isolated from each other, and you'll go to get one, the other team will get the other, you'll both rotate around and flip the zones, and no one actually gets any points, just goes round and round. Luckily, it's a bit easier to get onto top mid here, so hopefully our players will be providing some oppressive fire from on top.
And now we're going on to the loadout screen. Oh, no, well, for them at least.
Yeah, they're picking their weapons.
Excited as well.
I mean, I think I have a good idea of what our players are going to be playing in this set. Manila Blizzard, not known for varying their comps up very much over the course of this series. They tend to pick something they've practiced with and stick to it. Whereas Auckland, they do change their comps around a bit more. We've seen a bit of variability in what they like to play. A lot of their players have a few different weapons they specialize in, so they might be able to specialize around map modes a bit more closely.
But we are getting into the match right now. The first match of this series, in terms of this week at least.
Yeah.
Splat Zones Umami. Let's see the comps.
Yeah, alright.
Okay.
I mean... a quick talk us through on what we've got here. What are we looking at?
Okay, so it's very a given thing for these players to run the weapons that they are right now. Not much variance, but we do see Toby. I believe this is the first time that he is playing Paintbrush in competitive. We know, at least for the people that are known for him, that he does play Paintbrush, but I think it's the first time that he ever has the confidence to play it for Frostbite.
Yeah. I know we don't see it a lot in Frostbite, but I know that we've been seeing a lot of work for Auckland to create those pincer strategies, and the Paintbrush is such a good finisher, right? It doesn't initiate fights quickly, but it can finish them very effectively. That being said, we've got a lot of early pressure here, I think Auckland are really on the back foot right now. They don't have a lot of pressure allowing them back onto zone here.
But they are immediately going for a retake right now with two specials popped. It's not going to be enough for them to completely take off zone and of mid, so they still have to fight for their block first. They lost the fight though, so they have to reset here if they want an opportunity to push again as a team.
Alright, I mean, that's a pretty nice cleanup there. And we're gonna see... Oh, Toby does manage to get two before going down there. That Paintbrush, pretty good at getting trades in clutch situations. However, a trade is not going to quite cut it. Manila Blizzard, only 15 points left on the clock, and they are looking for a quick knockout.
Yeah, Zones, of course, is super well known for its brutal lockout. The attacking team really needs to do something if they want an opportunity to score, and oh my god, it's game one.
Alright, well, chat seemed pretty sure this was going to be a wipe, and so far it's looking quite a lot like it. Manila with a incredibly hasty knockout. And this is going to lead into the strategies I was talking about earlier. Auckland's main weakness, from what I've noticed, is they have trouble dealing with very mobile and hyper-aggressive plays. They're very good at setting up and slowly taking section by section, whereas Manila... what I'm calling their team strategy is the hydrated chef, because they all take a swig from the tacticooler and then they cook. And if they don't cook, they feed, but either way, they're able to get back into the fight because they've taken the tacticooler. So it's going to be very dangerous for Auckland. They need a way to deal with this aggression. I'm curious to see if they have an answer for it.
I'm sure Manila would love that as a strategy title. I did not expect you to name it as well. But we do have a counter pick already, immediately ready. It's
that was quick.
TC Haggle, yeah.
Alright, Auckland do have a history for picking tower control in this series. And they do have a pretty good chance at winning it. Generally, they get a pretty good score in tower control. Even if they don't win, it's usually a very tight score line. So, I mean, this is their mode, right? If they can't win this, it's going to really ruin their morale and cause them a lot of problems in the back half of this set.
I don't really have an explanation for the thought process. I believe this is just really a comfort pick for them. They prefer to be on this map and in this mode. We'll have to see though if they really do adjust like excessively in terms of their comps as well.
I mean, out of the two tower control maps that were available, I'm much more expecting them to pick Hagglefish over Manta. This just makes sense.
Immediately, game 2 is TC Haggle. Let's see the comps. See if there's anything changed. Okay, not on the side of Manila. Ooh, okay.
All right.
Toby went for the Dynamo Roller on TC Haggle. That's a interesting change. He is going for his usual kit, which is QR Ninja Squid. We'll see if that adjustment is enough for them to at least get mid right here, which they are fighting for.
I mean, there's a reason that Toby is the Dynamo and it's because they are so dangerous and they will just hide under ledges like this. However, looks like Bread able to very quickly cover out that ledge early on. Tower's going to sit at that first checkpoint. No one's really in position to shut that one down, so I think we're just going to see a return to neutral at this point.
Okay, I would like to point out, Jelly, I don't know if it was caught on stream, but he got a quad that killed the momentum for Manila. Yes, he dismantled the two people that were on left of mid and had an opportunity for his team to push it all the way to the first checkpoint. Well, very well played.
All right, Jelly showing that they're not just some substitute, they are the substitute for the team right now.
Yeah, doing God's work right now, but it is not enough. I believe they weren't able to... Oh yeah, they did get first checkpoint, but it's not enough for them to push anymore, which is going to be a problem since Manila has control of mid right now.
Auckland losing out on a lot of super jumps there as well, which is really going to help Manila get to this first checkpoint. And with the splats rolling in, Toby is not able to do enough. Tiger, the top slayer of this series so far, if I am not mistaken, just cleaning up on Plat there. They are going to cause a lot of problems for Auckland right now.
It is going to be a battle of the gals right now. It's just in terms of getting frags and pushing all the way to their Plat to really secure the team for getting the checkpoints. As you can see, Tiger is not disappointing, living up to her name. She immediately went to Plat and at least got 3 people right there, making her team push all the way to 49, which is going to be a hard push for Auckland to do. So let's see if they manage to overcome that.
Very tough on this map, especially. We've got Toby going down early, doesn't bode well, and Neru just firing down from that inkjet. Crowboy is able to get away, so we do have a bit of contestant for the tower here, but Auckland's losing manpower quickly. Oh, actually, no, as I say that, Auckland able to redouble their efforts. They've reached the first checkpoint and they should be able to clear it, no problems. Jelly just firing on the ramp here with that killer whale to back them up. They might be able to take lead.
As I'm saying, Plat control is really important here. So long as you get the checkpoints, you have to guarantee that you have players on the enemy Plat so that the rest of the space that the tower needs to go to is secured. Jelly right there tried to get that... Oh, wait! I'm gonna shut up for a second. They pushed all the way to 18 and to the final checkpoint as well.
Oh, I think they're gonna get shut down there. Punny with the clean splat on the tower, and with only 1 player left, Auckland gonna have to pull back. But heck of a push. I mean, Hagglefish tower control doesn't get much better than 16 remaining. That is gonna be hard to contest with only 2 minutes left.
That is very well played by Auckland. My god, their push all the way to 16 was excellently played. You saw that they pushed to the top right of the enemy Plat. That's also an important space to take off so that you don't allow any of the backliners to really contest tower from a safe space. We are seeing though a fight for mid right now. It is secured by Manila. It is now their opportunity to, again, this is a very flowchart map, push all the way to their Plat.
Punny was able to do a good fight there, and with Tiger trading out with Toby, they just need to protect their back here. Ooh, no, that's a nasty pincer. Jelly does go down, but Auckland are now in position to hold this out. Oh no, Tiger gets the 2! Able to capitalize.
Yes, that's enough to secure They're plat, but not enough. They don't have players in plat though, so the path for the tower is going to be hotly contested. As you can see right now, it's all of the players are on the tower, and okay, it's being defended right now by Auckland. Is it going to be
still
enough?
in a good position. They're getting some inkjet shots. They're able to land some damage. They're reaching the checkpoint. They don't have to get very far to take lead at all. A couple of spots will do it.
Yes, Naru is in their top right now. It's going to be maybe enough. Oh no!
Cleaning up, and that is the wipeout. That is pretty
God.
much game with their Auckland with a clutch stop. Now, I don't want to say that it's over because there is a chance for the comeback here, but I feel like as long as Auckland play this safe, they should be good enough to take this one home. Oh no, Tiger gets double.
Oh, okay, that might be a lost opportunity now, unless Auckland can maybe. Well, they're not gonna be. They're sitting tight right now. It's all the way to 16
Crowboy's got
points.
special, Rainsfield's got special.
Yeah.
They should be able to shut this down. Killer Whale's going to cause them a little bit of problems. Punny's going to try to zip past in to shut them out, but I do not think. No.
Yes.
Oh.
That was. My God, that was.
Yeah.
You saw that?
The comeback had a chance there. It's just the problem was that because a lot of the players on Auckland didn't go down, they were able to farm special in those closing seconds, and the tri-strike is going to shut down a tower push 9 times out of 10, especially when you're playing it safe like Crowboy was there. So Auckland's going to take a point there, and that's going to bring us up to 1-1.
That was from the result itself, that was a nice adjustment. They actually did win the fight. With Dynamo even, I would like to point out to everyone, Dynamo is a very low tier pick in the meta right now, and it always has been ever since Splatoon 2.
It's not a low tier in Toby's hands.
Yeah, but in Toby's hands though, with the amount of experience that he has with the weapon and the expertise in terms of gears, he did it.
Yeah.
He got his team to 1 point. It's now 1-1.
Absolutely. I mean, it was that clutch stop, right? They were at 20 remaining versus 17 remaining, and they were able to absolutely clear out player after player. The desperation. The one weakness I have for Manila Blizzard that I've recorded is that they're a bit because they're very aggressive, because they like to rely on their quick respawn and their tactical to get back into the fight. Sometimes they're not all together. Sometimes they will go for desperation plays without letting their team catch up to them. And just like we saw there, Toby was able to 1, 2, 3 splat them up with the help of their team. I mean, when the point line is that close, you can't really blame our players for getting that thirsty for the objective. But yeah, just able to hold it out there, and brings us through to Game 3 with a tied scoreline. That's what we want.
Yeah. I would like to point out an example regarding your analysis on Manila really overextending. Sometimes it was their last push at the previous map. Their Gal player did push the plat, which is what you would want, but it was just it's just her alone, Tiger all alone, and immediately got pinched by the Dynamo that was near on their tent.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing as well, right? Tiger is a good enough player that they can afford to make plays like that. We saw them get a clean double just by rushing out into enemy faces, not missing shots, which when you're a Gal player, you really can't afford to miss shots. So just being accurate and mobile is enough to keep them in fights and push them forward.
Tiger Tiger is the manifestation of a skill diff. She will rush you down straight forward. You know where she's gonna come from, which is like literally in front of you. It's just a matter of, okay, who's gonna win the fight?
Yeah.
And, you know, you can't counter out on that.
I think the other thing to keep in mind here is that was a tower control game. A tower control game is not a game where you can just be hyper aggressive and score points. You need to pull back and support the tower. So now that we have our new map pick, which I believe is Rainmaker Undertow Spillway, this is a map where aggression is rewarded. This is we're going to see some very hard and fast plays coming out from Manila, and I hope that Auckland has a solution to that problem.
My God, if not for the map, then for the mode. Rainmaker is known to be the most kill hungry, the most fastest, the most offensive mode out of all of the 4.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, we're gonna see some entertainment here.
It's gonna be a spicy one, but it could be over quickly, and that's the concern.
It's going to be more catering towards the Gal players as well, because Gal is a very good pick for this map. One wall on the right of zone and left, mid, I mean, is enough to shut down that whole lane, and well as well. Right, we're going on to it.
All right, let's see what our players are bringing. I'm not expecting too much of a comp change here from Manila, and there isn't one. But we do have the paintbrush coming back out here for Auckland.
Okay.
Very similar comps, all things considered. The only difference is Stamper versus paintbrush.
Yes, both are. I was gonna say similar range, not really.
No.
It's just a matter of winning their fights and getting mid. Okay, so Manila did get the pop, and it's just a matter of taking advantage of it.
Yeah, they definitely have the map control right now to get some points on the board, and Jelly is kind of the only one directly opposing this Rainmaker push. Whereas we've got 3 members of... Yeah, I mean, look at that. Manila just clean slice through to the checkpoint. They don't quite get it! Oh no!
Yeah, they were halted, yeah. That was excellently defended by Auckland, and now it's the opportunity to push up into mid. There is a wave breaker immediately broken though, so not much opportunities to be taken from it. It's going to be a fight for mid. They did take RM, so let's see if it's going to be killed by the Inkshot that's happening right now.
Yeah, Nero getting really aggressive with the Inkshot, but not able to land any hits. Toby kind of gets isolated because of the paint, and Crowboy is gonna go down here due to Bread just noticing that weakness. So that's some very good reads from Manila. However, the positioning is currently in favor of Auckland. They're on both sides of the mound here. They've got their painters in the right place. I don't see many points getting on the board for Manila in the next 30 seconds.
It's going to be that case for quite a while since they don't have a convincing hold of mid. Well, never mind. They do have a convincing hold of mid, but do they have a convincing hold of the checkpoints though? Which I'm pretty sure Manila did not consider that they're going to push on left checkpoint, which is happening right now. But of course, a fast response from Manila. Very well played.
I gotta say, I'm very impressed with how Auckland managed that. The Zipcaster coming out is usually enough to absolutely spook and destroy a Rainmaker carrier like that. Punny was well prepared for it, but we saw some excellent control of the Rainmaker, and Auckland are able to actually clear the checkpoint, puts them in the lead. I mean, plenty of game left to go, but it's the little victories that end up taking the big one home.
That's true, especially in a mode like RM. You can do a solo play with the RM and completely push it all the way to 1. Oh, and that's a wipeout from Auckland. My god, they're gonna have an opportunity to push again.
Toby was able to clean up the back line, which is something that really benefited the team there. Rainmaker's maybe going to be able to sneak around grading here if they can get the maneuverability. There's nowhere for them to go. The paint is coming in so fast. Another wipeout though!
Nice, well played. And this is another opportunity that they're gonna have to take. I believe they're gonna knock it out if they play it well correctly, but no, Manila defended it as much as they can. They are noticing getting desperate. As you can see right there, they got immediately desperate to push for the RM, that they just completely ignored the fact that the bubble is a walking atom bomb.
Oh wow, Auckland, amazing effort on their behalf, bringing back the pincer and thorn strategy that I was talking about back in week 2. Ooh. They just locked down every point they picked up. Every time they got a checkpoint, every time they secured an area, anyone coming in got stung. That's such good team coordination, that's such good awareness. They had someone firing in every direction and they were able to get multiple wipeouts. That's huge.
Apologies for the background noise. And yeah, that was a slap on the face of... Was Manila the one that counterpicked that, by the way?
Manila did counterpick that too, yeah.
Yeah, that's... My god, that's gonna really make them second think what's really favorable towards them.
Yeah, Manila... I have a note here. They do pick Clam Blitz. They're one of the few teams that does reliably pick Clam Blitz in their sets. So I feel like that's a good pick for them right now. But what are you vibing here? What are you thinking Manila's thinking?
As by the observations of your previous notes back then, it was noted that Auckland did suffer from a lot of rushdown comps, and the response, be the rushdown comp. Just fight fire with fire, and it immediately worked. They knocked out, not only one, knocked out the counterpick against them. So
yeah,
Manila has to really think of a strategy. Do they still continue with the comp that they have, or do they adjust in terms of compensating for the speed that Auckland has right now? We do have a counterpick immediately though. It's going to be another Rainmaker map, Mako Mart.
Okay. Oh, okay. They're going Rainmaker again. They want the run back. And a sub as well. We have, I don't know who's subbing yet, but we'll find out shortly. Chat is aptly pointing out as well, Toby, well known for playing the Dynamo, but Dynamo doesn't have the best mobility, whereas here, Toby is able to use the Paintbrush's rolling ability to get into those fights and use that high damage that they know how to use so well.
Lots of highlights on the Dynamo player, which is pretty best, but come on, you gotta admit that seeing a Paintbrush and a Dynamo in competitive is very exciting. You barely see it in competitive anymore. And it's always entertaining how Toby plays it, because he knows for a fact that Dynamo cannot play how it's designed to be, which is for stalling, going back on the back lines and stuff like that. It has to really take risks for the main weapon to really shine, especially for it to compensate for the fact that it's really inconsistent when it's like far back from the damage that it does. And that goes for every Dynamo actually. Ever since Splatoon 1, the damage has been really inconsistent.
Absolutely.
And Toby's playing it really well to compensate for it.
I do want to quickly point out as well the other difference between these two team comps. We have Punny on the Stamper. Punny has been playing the Stamper all series, and they are one of the best Zipcaster players I know. They Zipcasted through a crab. Like, this is a player that is just annihilating when they get onto that Zipcaster. So to be able to avoid that and play around that, I think Auckland are really showing that they have some serious beef in this contest. They are keen to win this one.
Zipcaster is very reliant on the fact of the player's performance in and of itself. So it's going to be really dependent on Punny on how he really makes plays with that special. We're gonna have to see more of those plays since their backs are against the wall right now. It is now 1-2 coming into Rainmaker by Comart.
Absolutely. This is the last Rainmaker map they can pick, so they want to make it count. Weapon changes. We've got the splatter shot coming out from Manila, because we did have the substitution. We've got Zalf in. Whereas we've got pretty standard comp here from Auckland.
Whoa.
Love to see the gal. Rainmaker pop proving pretty devastating up front. Auckland with a 3-player advantage.
Yes, Auckland did a 3-man push on the bubble while the short player, which is Toby, went to right stack and tried to kill, well, not even tried, successfully killed 2 people, which is enough for them to push up to the left checkpoint, which I believe they took. Am I right?
They did. Booyah Bomb's going to buy them some space, so we should see a slow and steady back into mid now. 3 players up on both teams. Yeah, I mean, if you're Manila in this situation, you want to play this slow. If you do anything too risky here, the Rainmaker is in a really bad spot for you, and yeah, it doesn't go well. So we're going to see Bread up here a lot, just landing those Rainmaker shots, trying to zone out, and let their team get into better positions. Ooh. But Rainsfield on that Inkjet is going to shut down the Rainmaker there.
Shot.
Crowboy's going to go pick it up.
Alright. I would like to point out that, yes, they do actually have to take it slowly. They are fighting against a shark weapon on a map that has a lot of verticality. There's a lot of opportunities for the brush player to make plays, to just hide in corners where people would normally not check. So once they get the RM right here, which they probably will not because Auckland has control of mid, I believe this is going to be a push again, probably on right. No, they're going to opt for the left, which is the more practical one, of course.
I mean, yeah, I don't know at this point. Like, we've got 2 players on the right side, so it is less contested on left, and they do go for it. Jelly trying to get the splats up front, but they're completely evaded and taken out. Rainmaker gets some good distance, though. That is a worth pick. Toby able to stay up as well, so they're going to be a bit of a thorn to get rid of. Yeah, I mean... good sharking spots is Auckland's bread and butter. They know how to play this kind of a map. So, yeah, let's just hope that we can see some movement from Manila. They can be too quick for those sharks. Can they outrun the shark?
Yeah.
Oh god. Alright, we do have the push here on left side for Manila. They get right to the checkpoint and clear it out. No real contest there. I don't know what was happening on the side of Auckland at the time, but they have managed to clean up, so that will be the end of the push there for Manila. And we're probably going to see a reset to neutral here.
Yeah, Manila has to fight for mid once again because Crowboy painted all the way up to the right stack. Stacks are left and right stack are very important in this map in terms of controlling mid because they are the only very high spots of the map in terms of mid that you really get a vantage point of. Honey right now fighting for left checkpoint while the RM is being pushed.
A nice trade happening off to the side. Toby could just go right. They don't know this, but there is no one defending the right side and they could easily extend their lead. However, they're going to play it safe. They have a good lead as is. Toby out there alone with the Rainmaker. They're probably going to go down here. How are they still up? Okay. Finally. And Manila has good control of mid right now, with Tiger taking out Rainsfield as well. Jelly's the only player up to defend. This is a good chance for Manila to make something happen, but they don't know Jelly's there!
Oh,
Jelly gets the shark!
And they are forced to try to consider going, pushing to right, and it actually worked!
Amazing! Bread with the last minute decision, they spot the shark and they're like, nope, I am not taking this, and they run it for the right side. Able to get a single point lead, extended by another single point, and now it is a minute for Auckland to pull that back. What an incredible clutch play from Bread.
35 versus 33, a 2-point deficit, all because of Bread with his quick minute decision. Quick second, quick millisecond, my god. And they got the wipeout too.
Yeah, Auckland are all in position to defend this. The wipeout does mean that they're all here to shut this down. And some pretty aggressive jumps coming out from Manila as well. They're just buying time. They know that they're not going to be able to increase their lead. They just want to make this as slow as possible. But they did lose a few too many players, which means that Auckland have a chance here. They've got to do something very similar to what we just saw. Okay. Oh, it's going to be difficult though.
Yeah, it is RM though. It's very easy to make a play for the points to go down. It's just a matter of contesting left stack maybe. I believe that's their best chance. Not unless no one is defending right, which they are.
You get the jump out. Toby's going to go for left stack. Bread tries to shut them down, but doesn't succeed. We have the Rainmaker in position, but the Zuka's coming through.
And it's sniped.
The Zuka with the arc shot. That's huge.
My god, what a shot. You see that?
I did see that. That was so good. That was an arc shot. That was over terrain. They perfectly landed that. I mean, it was going to be a tough push for Auckland regardless, but Zalf with the shutdown. Amazing work.
Wait, yes, on over the terrain, not just straightforward?
It was over the terrain. It was an arced shot. There was no way they could get that straight up. There was too much in the way.
God.
Oh, that brings us to 2-2.
Yeah. I mean,
I don't know about you, chat. I am hype right now. Both of these teams pulling out all the stops to make this one happen.
My god, not... I mean, you know, I was expecting close games, but I didn't expect it to go out that way.
Yeah, I mean, the back and forth here, this is crazy.
I expected, you know, a play to be done by Auckland, by Manila to get the lead by doing teamwork. No! Who did that? Who got the lead? It was Bread with his... Oh my god, that decision to... How did they realize that there were no people on right? That was...
So I think it was more that Jelly was sharking left, and Jelly popped out and took out their escort, right? So they immediately were like, uh-oh, alert, alert, I have to go up against a gal with a Rainmaker. That's not gonna fly. So they just booked it right. They just... I mean, it was probably a hope and a prayer. There could have been a call out from a teammate, but... Yeah, essentially, they knew that left wasn't gonna happen, so they booked it right. Yeah, Puts is correct in chat as well. They knew that they had players down on the opposing team as well. They knew that players were respawning, so it was probably the safest pick for them, and it paid out. They had the schmovement. They made it down the line. They got that 1-point lead. Would have been so crushing if they exactly tied it and not gotten the lead from that, but they were able to pull that out. We have our counter pick from Auckland.
It is Santa Maria, yes.
I'm not surprised.
It's going to be another map that you can really abuse verticality. I assume this will be very favorable towards the all-important player of Auckland, Toby.
Yeah, I mean, look, this is a map that favors indirect fire. And only indirect fire players we have here. I think it's just Toby, right? Hang on, let me check my notes.
I guess so, because most of the players from Manila are not really off meta.
Okay, that's fair, but like Tiger will probably run a machine, right? So we'll see at least some indirect damage coming out here. But realistically, yeah, it's a very meta comp, so we're not going to see too many abuses of this map's particulars. We're not going to see a blaster coming out today.
Wow,
Yeah. We're right into it. Yeah, we are. We're on all cylinders here. These players are ready to go, and so are we. Let's see what they're bringing.
They really want to get this set over with. Okay, and you were correct. Chat was correct as well. Machine is now coming out of Tiger, and a Dynamo as well.
I mean, look, you don't want to play a Gal on this map, I don't think. I mean, Jelly's doing it, so we'll see how effective that can be. But I really feel that the Sloshing Machine was the right choice on this one.
Yeah. Now, we're just gonna have a full 10 seconds of fighting for mid. It's going to be favorable for Manila though, as they get the ballpoint player, probably the Dynamo as well. Yes, there we go, and it's an opportunity for them to push their tower for that excellently played wipeout. My god, all from
wipeout
now.
at the open game is huge because you're going to be able to get through the first checkpoint for free, and then you've got your specials ready for second checkpoint. So we're going to see some real damage here. Nero's already inkjetting it up. Booyah Bomb's going to come down as well. So it's 2 checkpoints cleared for 1 wipeout. That's massive.
There is terrain though for defenders to be at least poking tower, which they did effectively, also comboed with that tri-strike. They managed to get the tower, but not for mid though. They still have to fight for it. I believe they're trying to get some specials right now and trying to discern where players are. But Manila did take tower and they are pushing. It's going to be a fight for street right now, so...
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, we've got Toby going down there, which is going to be a big blow to the defense here. Rainsfield's trying to land some inkjet shots. They do take out Punny and Bread, so that is going to stop the advance there. That should be a reset to mid, but a pretty good score. We can all agree that the distance between second and third checkpoint is the hardest part of this map. So to get to 36, it's pretty good.
It's very good actually. It's 36 to 100 by the way, 3 minutes on the clock. Auckland really needs to do something, especially that this is their counter pick. Because,
yeah, exactly, right? You know, they came into this hoping they would be able to take a point out of it, and it's not going their way so far.
Yes, because for the 2 minutes that have happened for this match, they have still not have gotten a full control of mid, a convincing control of mid.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have to see. They have to flowchart this. They have to get mid first, maybe right as well, as they are fighting for it. Nice. Okay, and then they're now gonna go all the way to street and maybe get some specials as well.
Yeah, I noticed a very important tactical change there. We saw Toby was sharking and there was no bites. Manila were not biting on those sharks. So we saw a change in tactics, and now we get an aggressive Auckland, and it's quite effective as it turns out.
Yeah, as much as the terrain does favor the defenders for this, it is an awkward position to be in. Those walls are thin and narrow, and it can be easily contested with bombs and some verticality weapons such as, you know, a dynamo. And it is working as they got the second checkpoint, but
I mean,
Manila,
that's
of course,
essentially a wipeout.
yeah, Manila, of course, a fighting spirit. It's going to be their midas again.
Is Toby running stealth jump? How are they getting away with that? They must be, right? Yes, they are.
They are
okay. That was such a sneaky jump they were able to get away with there. We've got 2 minutes left. Second checkpoint still stands between the Auckland and the lead, but we have 2 players down on Manila. So this is going to come down to how quickly Auckland can get mid-control here. It's going to be a bit slower without Toby on the ground.
Yeah, they really have to make some plays right here. That's not something that you would like to see. Jelly going down from a pincer, and Punny controlling right with the ink shot being popped. Of course, you have to run away from that. The damage is very good. But Nero shutting it down along with the other teammates. It's a fight for mid. Neither team has control, but of course, with those picks, you gotta give it to Manila.
Yeah, I mean, it was a 2v2 essentially. No matter which team comes out on top, there's going to be no pushing as a result of that fight. We do see Manila getting a bit more aggressive here and pushing into street, which is going to allow them a bit of space, but Tri-Strike is ready and shuts it down, so we're back to square one here. A minute left on the clock. Auckland really need a player advantage to reach this checkpoint, and currently they do not have it.
Yeah, they are losing their fights right now. Jelly is the only one trying to contest the tower as well, because they really don't want to have any more points than 36. It is already so hard to get mid. What more if they get an opportunity again? It is only 35 seconds on the clock with the specials that they have, and with Manila still fighting for it, they really need to at least get a wipeout. Maybe 2 down. It is to 3v3, but we'll have to see.
I mean, member after member of Auckland are jumping in, getting a splat and going down. It is incredibly neutral right now with this back and forth, and that is exactly what Manila want. This is the last chance for Auckland. They are gathering everything together. They've got an Inkjet coming out here. I don't know if it's going to be able to cut the mustard, especially because we do have the tactical drunk and in prep. Yeah, that's going to be it.
The counter pick did not work.
No. Interestingly enough, we saw just a lot of neutral game there. And I think it comes down to the fact that Manila weren't falling for the sharking spots, right? They knew exactly what they needed to be aware of, and they weren't getting caught out. Most of their fights were either trades or wins, and it meant that they just didn't lose mid control. And controlling mid in Manta is essentially meaning that your opponent gets 0 points.
Not a lot of solo plays as well, actually. All team members were doing what they are expected to do, and they managed to garner the win.
Yeah.
Nicely played by Manila.
I will say Manila definitely showing that their weakness is not as much of a weakness as my analysis would have suggested. They were able to keep a cool head there. They acted as a team. And when they went down to a 2v2 situation, we saw the members of Manila painting forward to just deny space so that their super jumps could come in faster, whereas the members of Auckland were retreating and didn't have a super jump space secured. So they weren't able to get reinforcements as quickly, and it allowed for a lot more momentum on the side of Manila from that match.
A matter of fighting for mid as well. I'm pretty sure that 36-point push, that was their first push, by the way. I think it just stuck on their mind because they really got desperate to always get mid. It always seemed like there were only 2 people or only 1 person rather, trying to get the mid in the side of Auckland. And of course, you're gonna fight 2 against 4. It's impossible, and they just never managed to win their fights. They were always met by at least 2 people, and it just snowballed from there. They never had an opportunity to really. At most, they pushed just to 56, which is unfortunate. But they do have an opportunity to push again for this other map that they kind of picked. It is going to be in Clam Blitz.
Okay, so Auckland picking Clam Blitz. This isn't something they've done traditionally. This is not something they usually play, which is why I don't know how this is going to go at all. I have very little data on Auckland for Clam Blitz. Maybe they've been practicing this one. Auckland, talk us through a bit of the base strategy for Inkblot Clam Blitz.
Clam Blitz, as a practical thing, you have to really manage your economy. There were lots of moments in the previous weeks of the sets that the team that were losing, they did manage to score, but they did not have economy to really push it for them to have the lead. So I hope Auckland does not fall under that as well. It's going to be really hard. There are left, and I believe this is the left. For Inkblot Art Academy on Clam Blitz, it's not going to be one huge obstruction on mid. It's going to be 2 on the left and right. We call them stacks. It's going to be really important for them to control it, as well as there are clam spots all over the place around those areas. So if they want a ball and they want an opportunity, they really want control of that before going into the pot.
Okay, well this is set point for Manila. This will put them on very good standing for the rest of the series. Or positive standing, at the very least. No weapon changes here. Looks all good. Let's have a match.
We are seeing a paintbrush coming on the side of Auckland. I hope that'll be enough for their sake, because their backs are against the wall for sure this time, because they cannot afford this loss. Now this is a bit of a weird map because it's not going to be a fight for mid, rather it's going to be a fight for the stacks, because that's the more important spots. They did win the right stack there for Auckland, and it had an opportunity
Yo,
for the
sorry,
guy to
quick
push
shout
up to
out.
the plat. Yeah.
Jelly just getting a triple, just sneaking onto the opponent plat and getting a straight up triple. Jelly is doing mad work for their team right now. They're even trying to take down and successfully take down Neru's Inkjet as well.
Oh my God.
They're out of clams to continue this push, but the map is entirely in Auckland's favor. Jelly is very goated right now.
That's what I was referring to. The Clam economy is really important. They had an opportunity to score it maybe all the way to 40, but because they did not control left stack and right stack enough so that they can see the spawns, they did not score. It is still a good lead though. Manila is now forced to get something done. They're not going to be chilling for this map. And, oh, it's an awkward spot for them right
Jelly
now.
snuck in on plat again, and Crowboy has the power clam. They don't get the jump in time, but the rest of the team is rallying behind. However, they only have the power clam. They have no other clams. Is it wise for them to push in right now?
They are completely getting staggered by this gal that is just rushing into their plat and getting the attention of 3 people. Manila unfaced though, they're now trying to get mid, but they did fail though because they just fought for mid, not for left stack, which they got pincered from
Another
the Splat
set of
lane.
Splat. Toby and Jelly are using Pincer and Thorns to a T. They are falling back on their team's fundamentals, and it is doing dividends. Down to
Oh my
50
God.
remaining already. There's no real good clams in position. Toby might be able to get in a couple here.
Nice.
But I think that's probably going to stall out the push. No, Rainsfield's getting around the back. They've got some extras coming in. Crowboy's going to be able to pick some up as well. Will they get the jump in, or is this going to stall out here? How are they still scoring? Okay, 6 coming in on Crowboy. Crowboy gets in 3 before going down. That is going to significantly increase that scoreline. This is now looking very scary for Manila. It's only Jelly up, but they don't know where they are, and Jelly gets 1!
Oh no.
You gotta
77?
watch out for the thorns!
Oh my God. 77, not a problem, but 17. Now that is something that to be really pressured about. They have to get mid right here if they want an opportunity to push that Clam Blitz, to push that football that Bread has right now. They do have control of right stack, confirmed by the fact that Phoebe did went down from there. They have Plat right now, a pristine opportunity to maybe get some clams in. It's only the Stamper though that has clams, which...
They've got the pity as well. They shoot. Oh no, the pity! It gets dropped. It does go in.
Okay.
And that is going to stall it out. Unfortunately, it seemed like there was a bit of a skirmish happening that broke their momentum a bit. They had enough clams to really close that scoreline, but we saw the members of Auckland getting in just in time to prevent that kind of travesty from occurring. Travesty, disaster. We have 1 down on either side at this point and a minute 30 left on the clock. A pretty decent penalty on both of our teams as well, which means it is going to take a lot of clams to even shift that scoreline, let alone a lead change. Looking scary for Manila right now.
Oh, sorry. I had a bit connection issues. I would like to say though, Clam Blitz does score in terms of 3. And if you have a ball, it scores in 20. So as much as that lead does feel overwhelming, it is still very much possible for Manila to get something done for their team.
Absolutely. They do have a lot of the map controlled, and Punny is sitting on 7, which means they could potentially sneak a power clam under the basket. However, we have all 4 members of Auckland defending the basket. They have no interest in map control. They are just trying to take fights from a safe place. Toby does extend out a bit too far and goes down for it, but the Tri-Strike is going to trade that back. With 30 seconds left and only a power clam and some change on Manila, it's looking scary for them. They do have an opening here.
Yes, they
Gets
do.
shut down. It's still right there, but we have so much firepower coming out from Jelly and Rain that I do not think they're going to be able to get this picked up. No, they dive in!
Yeah.
Oh, it was a good attempt.
Yeah. I don't think they have a power clam anymore. It's a lost cause.
Yeah.
Nicely played by Auckland.
Oh. I mean, Manila very well played there. They had all the pieces in those closing moments, but Auckland just decided that they weren't going to explore. They weren't going to go around the map. They weren't going to try and increase their score, and they certainly weren't going to risk getting sharked on. They just played from their high ground and used their high damage weapons to shut down any push that came in, and they got 4 splats on the scoring podium.
Okay. Yeah. Alright, now we will be waiting for their counter picks, and I don't know. I mean, yeah, I don't know. That was excellently played. The defense as well on the last push by Manila, with Rain and the Gal player.
Mhm.
That was enough. That was well played by them that they did not get pressured. That they saw literally a Clam, a football in their plat about to be scored. They might have lost lead, but no, they kept their cool and they had that opportunity, and they took it. That's how we played.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Well, that brings us up to 3-3, right? I believe that's set point. I'm not crazy, yeah. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure this is going to be set point here. We've got our last counter pick coming out from Manila. This is as tight as they get. I want to hear some support in chat. We've been seeing plenty of support for both of our teams in the chat so far. But I want to know who the favorite is to win. I came in talking some pretty big game at the start of this set. I was pretty confident Manila had it, but we have seen playstyle change after playstyle change from both of our teams. It really speaks to the adaptation of both of these teams and all of the players involved in not only today's match, but across the whole series. It is awesome to see. Adapt Avalanche did, exactly. Love to see it. Alright. We've got lots of cheers for Auckland. We've got some loud cheers for Manila as well. Just waiting on that final counter pick.
What do you think it's gonna be?
Oh, I mean, okay, so it's a pick from Manila. I don't think I don't think they'll pick Clams again. I don't think they'll pick Clams again, which means they have to pick Splat Zones, right? That's all that's left.
Yeah, but what will they pick?
Oh, I don't know.
You've got either Mahi or Sturgeon. Can we get some guesses in chat?
I'm gonna bet on Sturgeon. I don't think anyone would willingly pick Mahi when it is this close. Like when you've got a bit of a lead, or when you're like making a desperation play, sure, Mahi, I get it. It is a very niche map, but Sturgeon is just such a solid staple. I feel like if you're nervous, you might pick Sturgeon.
Well, the teams are picked, so are you ready?
Lay it on us.
It's Mahi Mahi.
No! What? They're nuts! I mean, look, hey, power to them. Manila going for the Mahi play. It definitely is a map that favors a comp that can play on narrower sightlines. So the ball points are both going to struggle here. Or at least I feel like the ball points are going to struggle here. Maybe I'm wrong on that.
Yeah, thank you, Lati, for subbing in for me. Sorry.
All good. Talk us through. We're on Splat Zones, Mahi.
Oh.
This is the final game. Alright, what are our teams gonna do here? What's the play?
Excuse me?
What's the play?
Zones Mahi?
Yeah.
Oh.
I know, right? I don't know.
So the first fight is going to be extremely important because it sets who will control mid for the rest of the game. It is very, very hard to retake on this map. So I hope both of these teams understand that, because even with the water down, I believe this is a map where the water does go down. If it does go down, even still, they do have space on mid. But in terms of like getting back into zone, no, you barely gain any space from that.
I mean, both of these teams have a tool for this, right? We have a lot of Tacticula on Manila, and we have a Dynamo on Auckland Avalanche.
That's true.
There are tools available to help them through this. It's just that this could be very swingy. This could be over so quickly and will undercut how close this entire set has been. Or it could be an absolute slog. But one thing's for certain, it's a one-zone map. It is not hard to get points on this. One wipeout and you are easily getting 30 to 50 points. So, got to be very careful about how you play this.
Okay.
We do have a splash coming out from Bread, which we haven't seen all day today. That is actually a comp change from Manila. I'm impressed. But
Yes,
obviously Crab.
Manila is running a very meta comp right now. Those weapons you see on Manila's side, they are a staple of the competitive scene right now. On the contrary though, for Auckland, they are running some comfort picks, some weapons that they just feel confident with that they know that they can contribute for the team, and it is working out right now. They have gotten the zone, and they are pushing up all the way to the plat on the box as well on right side, and they still have control. It's up to
Manila
58 right
is
now.
spooked. They have not left their plat because they know Toby is under there. They know Jelly is under there, and if they drop down, they're gonna get got. But there's nowhere else for them to go. They have to commit eventually. Nero does finally get a splat with the Inkjet, opens up Punny, opens up Bread, and they're gonna get neutral. But that was 70 points. This level of caution is good to a degree, but it might cost them the game if they can't get a little bit risky on this one.
It is hard to retake, but it is not impossible. You saw there that they just needed to win their fights. The maps are not favorable, but the players will still try. And it worked out for them. It is now 65 to 33, or to 30. And
yeah. Crowboy does get the triple in-strike on zone at the same time, which is good enough to get neutral, but unfortunately the team is not in a position to follow up. Rainsfield trying to get the splat on Punny. Punny, too quick to catch, does eventually go down, and it is an all-out splat bath. We have Bread, the only one surviving on Manila. They're able to get out, and that means they're going to have Crab ready for the next fight, and they are going to need it. Jelly trying to get aggressive on the side of the map there as well, just really making sure there's no safe point of entry, and they get the shark, but Punny doesn't survive it. Tiger, the only one left now. They've got the special ready to go, but they're going to wait for their team. Smart play. They're running out of time.
It's a very close lead. It is 42 to 30, and Auckland now once again counting down. They have to do some plays right here, which Bread is trying to do. Gets taken out though. Meru with the splat on the paintbrush. That's enough for them to have some space to maybe work on left side to retake zone, but Tiger goes down.
They know. Oh wow, the last minute cap. I was about to say Rainsfield plays a very good aggro ball point. They can play a ball point in melee range and not sweat. But we do have the swap in control there. Jelly getting caught out as well. Does manage to trade, which means we might see an opportunity for Auckland to get back in. They've got a bit of time to build up some special as well. I wouldn't be surprised if Punny goes in for a bit of an aggressive spot here as well, just to really try and slow down that momentum. 2 minutes left, 30 points between Manila and lead. It is all for here. Rainsfield going in with the Inkjet, the Tri-Strike coming out as well, should be enough to get neutral, and it is! Booyah comes out, but it's not quick enough! And we have the wipeout. That is going to be Auckland in control of this map.
That was very well played. Toby rushed into the oh my god, the machine, and with the specials that Jelly and the other of his teammates did, they managed to get 3 people from there. That was so good. But of course, Manila is not backing out of it.
Only 2 Tri-Strikes going out there means that we're going to have another Tri-Strike ready very soon as well. With a very close scoreline, if we don't see a play from Manila now, this will be an Auckland knockout. We're so close to the scoreline, they get neutral!
They can't call
it! Auckland taking the set 4-3 in an incredible all-out Mahi Splat Zones game. What an amazing set. Quill, how you feeling?
Oh my god. Because once they capped the zone in Manila's favor, I thought it was lit for them, because lockouts are really hard, and I didn't know how Auckland would do it. I believe they only had 1 special at that time, which was Inkjet. But you didn't, with Auckland's skill, you don't even need specials to have an opportunity to do it again. Wow. So that was very well played. And now that it's over, we're gonna have Auckland be the one to interview. I'm very excited.
Beautiful.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, like, these players are gonna be adrenaline ridden and exhausted. We had a maximum length set. Some of those games were incredibly close. I'm gonna take it easy on him with the questions, I think, this time.
In one moment of that match, by the way, Toby, with his curling bomb, rushed all the way to the machine, gave absolutely no care in the world that he was trudging on dangerous territory. The zone that he was pathing on was completely painted by the enemy team, yet he did not care.
Wow.
And that plate secured it. It was a wipeout right after that. Wow.
Oh. Awesome.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, we'll be back in a sec with our interview. Don't go anywhere.
As we're still catching our breath.
Easy,
Hello, guys.
we're not going to be tackled. I know what you've been through. Like, I mean, that last game alone, like, disregarding how close the rest of the set was for a second, that last game was so swingy, and you managed to just hold on with some of those retakes. That was very impressive. I'm very, very happy to see such a good game for both of our teams.
Appreciate it a lot, man. Those games are awesome. Like, I could not be happier.
Heck yeah. Well, yeah, to take it easy on you to start with, I am. Do we want just a quick, like, a 5-second piece from each player about how we're feeling right now, more than anything else?
Yeah, I want to know how
Oak speech. We always finish with the Oak speech, right? Like, I've interviewed this team before. We finish with the Oak speech.
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, this is a very appropriate reaction to the previous set that we just did.
We can start things off. Is Jelly on mic? I want to talk to Jelly for a moment.
Yes, I'm here. Hello.
Yeah, so you've just subbed in for this team. You already embody its spirit so much. Have you been like practicing with these players, or like was there just a vibe? How did you manage to gel with your team so well after such a short like period?
To be honest, we just kind of connected when we started playing. We've only done one scrim, so yeah, it's been a lot.
That's very impressive.
On behalf of Chad as well, I would like to congratulate you, Jelly. You did a really nicely done performance throughout the whole of the set. You got triples, quads, all for your team, and as a sub as well.
I'm telling you, Jelly's the GOAT. He's the GOAT.
I'm so
yeah.
I think chat will agree as well. Jelly is indeed the GOAT. But I don't want to discount the rest of this team as well, because we saw some really cool plays from everyone over the course of this. Toby, we loved your paintbrush. It really did use some amazing work on Rainmaker at that early stage, where you're able to get some amazing splats when you were completely surrounded. I just want you to talk through, like, have you been working on your paintbrush a lot? Are there like things you're picking up from these other teams? Just like paintbrush advice for players as well.
Honestly, during competitive, most of my plays come from the knowledge I have of the other team, because like we're OC, we know all the players. But like most of my picks was because like they would never expect me to just run directly into them like with Ninja Squid, and they don't pay enough attention to see it, and I just get picks because they don't expect it, and I just shock in completely random spots, and they have to come near me, and I get like 2 or 3 just from that.
Yeah.
I had 2 questions, and one of them was already regarding Jelly. Okay, it was answered. And the other one was with Toby. On that last match, I saw you curling bomb all the way to the machine that was booyah bombing. You did not care that it was the zone was painted. What was your thought process? Did you just think that you had to make a play for your team to have an opportunity to get back zone? What were you thinking?
Oh, well,
or was it just brain dead? You know.
Half of it was brain dead, half of it was like hyper brain. I was like, okay, if I do this, I'll either die and distract 2 players, or I'll take out 2. So I'm taking the risk, and it paid off. I did shred the BR bomb somehow, because paintbrush damage output is just insane. But like, yeah.
I got a question for Rainsfield as well. During the tower control on Manta match, I noticed a few gear changes from your team. Like, your team is very good at sharking. I would say that it is one of your best strategies, and you're very good at it. But there was a moment in that tower control map where the opponent just wasn't biting, right? They were just playing mid, they weren't getting aggressive, they weren't jumping into you and getting caught out. I noticed your team take a shift into an aggressive stance, and it worked really well. I want to know, as the backline, were you like part of coordinating that, and how did your team make that decision?
I think I'm part of coordinating it, but I'm also not part of coordinating it. My job is kind of to hold like certain areas and just have a bunch of area denial. For me, it was keep our bunker and keep their bunker. When we switched to offense on our push for Manta Tower, it was, okay, I'm going to take bunker and I'm going to jet if they come too close, or I'm going to jet to take space, and we were able to, I think, break check, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, you did manage to get through first checkpoint.
Yeah.
That one was quite close for a while there as well. And yeah, obviously we've got to give you a quick thank you for your amazing inkjet plays today.
We would be nothing without Charles's inkjet. I'm just saying.
Yes.
Against another ballpoint as well. That was very well played.
Yeah.
Nero's point's been incredible. Like the entire time it's been played. Like,
Oh,
with such
100%.
experience- Like with such little experience, Nero counts herself out a lot, but I think Nero's incredibly smart and like will put the time in and like will become incredibly good with full point or any weapon for that matter.
Yeah, that's awfully sweet of you.
Awesome.
All right.
Well, before we finish, we have to, because I mean, I always say chat demands it, but it's usually just one person, right? We need an Oak speech.
Person. I hate him.
From Oak as well.
Well, I didn't play this set, and honestly, that's fine, because, like, the way I'm shaking right now, I couldn't have. I'm just so proud of Auckland. Like, I also want to thank Jelly just for subbing in last minute, and he's so cracked. It's honestly amazing. Manila's the team I fear the most, so the fact that we made it is just incredible. That's all I really got to say.
Without Oak's support, we wouldn't be where we are, guys. Come
Oh,
on.
I love you guys so much.
We love you too, Oak. We all love you.
Auckland beat the #1 seeded team, by the way, even if they had another team that had the same results in terms of set wins against Manila. They did win the most matches. So you guys beat the front-running team. Congrats.
That's pretty cool.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it's pretty cool given the circumstances.
Very much great. All right, well, I think that's gonna do it for this stream. Thank you, everyone who came out to watch this game today. I'm sure you're glad you did. And if any of the players on Auckland happen to watch the stream back, I'd like to apologize formally for thinking that you wouldn't win this set. I'm very glad that you've proven me wrong on that one.
Highlighting.
It's Windows. It's Windows' fault.
Everything is winnable, yes, own. Everything is winnable.
Everything is winnable, as you've proven today. Cool. Well, that's going to do it from us here at Frostbite. I've been Yeson. I've been joined by Quill, who has been excellent. I think we can all agree. And yeah, we'll see you tomorrow. We've got 2 more games coming up for you, so tune in for those.
Hit the subscribe button.
Hit the
Smash it.
Oh my god.